Merry Christmas, everybody. How are you feeling? If you're in Belize, then there's a good chance that you're feeling happy. We are the happiest country in the Caribbean, number 25 in the world. With a rating of 6.711 out of 10, we're actually 1 point shy of Finland, the number one spot. Now, there's a caveat to our number one ranking in the Caribbean. It is very hard to get reliable data across the many small countries that make up our region. Meaning a country like St. Vincent and the Grenadines may be happier, we just don't have the data to say so definitively. For the countries we do have data for, Belize leads by a substantial margin. Even when we include Central America, the only country that surpasses us in happiness is Costa Rica. We are one rank below the United States, while surpassing countries like France, Japan, or Spain, proving money can't buy you happiness. Well, in truth, it can buy you some happiness, but only to a certain degree, after which there's diminishing returns, and the more money you make starts to lead to less and less happiness, more comparisons, making you ironically less happy. So how do we calculate who's happy and who's not? When does money stop being the most relevant factor in our happiness, and how do Belizeans punch above our weight in the regional and global rankings? We'll answer all these questions and more on today's episode of All About Belize. The World Happiness Rankings are calculated by using 6 metrics: GDP per capita, social support, life expectancy, generosity, freedom to make choices, and perception of corruption. Our GDP per capita is 8,000 USD. That is all the money in the country divided by all the people. If GDP were all that mattered, we'd be considered poor. But our purchasing power parity, or how much we make relative to our cost of living, is actually closer to 15,000, which is far more comfortable. Our life expectancy is average at around 73 years. So far, nothing stands out about Belize compared to the rest of our region. But now we take a look at our strengths. Social support and generosity go hand in hand in Belize. When the happiness survey asked, if you were in trouble, do you have friends or relatives that you could rely on? Belizeans almost universally said yes. Generosity doesn't mean just donating to charities, but assisting your community, church, family, or friends all count towards this metric, and this is where Belizeans shine. When it comes to freedom to make choices, Belize does punch far above our weight for a number of reasons. First is our lack of credentialism. In general, if you want to start a business, build a house, provide a service, the only thing you need are the raw materials and a clientele. Compared to much of the world where a degree, along with the necessary permits and bureaucratic hoops you need to jump through, they become a prerequisite just to attempt something. Belize has a very low barrier to entry when it comes to trying something out for the first time. Second, if you feel like moving away from the hills or moving towards the coast, quiet village life or bustling city excitement, maybe you just want the best hudut or the tastiest caldo, the only thing stopping you from moving is your ability to find a place to stay. We don't have strict household registration tied to birth like the hukou system in China. We don't have state IDs or restrictive zoning laws or even a credit card check like in America. Just find a place to call your own and a community that will welcome you. Lastly, there is freedom in lifestyle choices. We don't put a lot of pressure on ourselves to own a big house or a nice car, get a degree from a famous university, or travel the world. It's certainly respected if you're fortunate enough to accomplish those things, but you're not deemed a failure if you're not. Strong relationships, meaningful work, and good character carry more social weight than any car or house, no matter how fancy. And this has real impact on how successful we feel. The most interesting metric to me is perception of corruption. Not corruption itself, mind you, just its perception. Belize is far from corruption free, but we're so used to it, and it doesn't feel unfair to the majority of us. In the US, for example, if someone handed out ham and turkey during the holidays and told you to vote blue, that would be completely unacceptable, with law enforcement likely getting involved pretty quickly since it is blatant bribery. In Belize, we'll take the turkey. I might take it and vote red, or not take it at all for personal reasons, while holding no hard feelings for the guy who does. In America, despite a much cleaner system on paper, the corruption is legalized through lobbies and mega donors, leading to the average person feeling as though the system truly doesn't work for them. Despite the fact they follow all the rules, get all the permits, vote in all the elections, they still feel left behind. In Belize, nobody ever promised us anything. The system is inefficient for everyone, so it doesn't feel antagonistic towards us personally. The rules are lax enough that if we stray to the informal market, we don't fear state retribution. Some of the happiest countries on earth have heavy corruption, little freedoms, and almost no safety net. They all tend to skew in favor of extreme poverty. The happiest places on earth tend to skew in favor of wealthy countries, where security and opportunity combine with a social fabric that feels fair. But the richest country on earth just barely surpasses Belize, and that is mainly due to the retirees who own the land and the resources to enjoy their wealth. Younger Americans joke about their depression and unhappiness so much, it's honestly surprising that the US can even surpass Belize. But the class and age difference heavily skew the data. What Belize has is special. Strong family ties that even government incompetence is more than made up for with trusted social support. Freedom of opportunity rivaling nations that span continents, and modest incomes that can stretch far enough to support a life of dignity and comfort. Embrace what you have. Call a friend, hug a loved one, because not everyone is lucky enough to have that. If you are one of the fortunate, be mindful that it does not last forever. If you stayed until the end, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.